Let's talk about what the people of New Jersey think. And before I get started in that, I want to read exactly what he's been accused of in this second superseding indictment. This time he was accused of making positive comments about Qatar in exchange for a multi-million-dollar deal for a New Jersey real estate business. He has been accused of being bribed with gold bars, money, a luxury car, and now most recently in the second superseding indictment, luxury watches. What do the constituents of New Jersey think about this?
I don't think anybody in New Jersey is surprised. So many people come to me and say, I knew Bob Menendez when I knew people that worked for him. And it's just not a surprise. He said himself, this is how we do business. So it's sad. New Jersey, there was a study that was done, I think back in 2014, and two states vied for the top position of most corrupt in politics. And it was New Jersey and Illinois. I mean, it's sad to have to come in, tie for number one with that category, but that's New Jersey, and we need to clean it up. And we need for people to understand seats like this, there's not that many of them, right? You've got two per state. We need to treat them as the treasured gems that they are. We need to treat them as the important jobs that they are, so that we can get things done for people, so that we can improve people's lives here in New Jersey and throughout the whole country. That's my goal. That's why I'm running. I plan on using the power for the people and returning it to them.
That's a really refreshing take, but if you look back at 2018, this is after his first trial. He won by 54%. So why do you think he won for re-election if the people of New Jersey now are sitting here in 2024 saying, hey, I'm not really surprised by this?
I remember a headline that came out days before election, and it said, hold your nose and vote. And that was the common thought about from most people, that they have to maintain these seats. They want to maintain the power in the Senate. And so it doesn't matter who's in there. And you look at a lot of folks that have won these seats. Some people question whether they're even qualified. I think that we need to look at that. People really need to start looking at the candidates that are running for these seats and not just go down party line. He never should have been voted back in, but Democrats stood behind him and they supported him and said, we're going to stand by him. Look what happened. It's happened all over again because he got away with it before. And as he said, this is how we do business, and he would continue to get away with it.
In September, he was accused of aiding the Egyptian government, now the Qatari government. In September, he stepped down as his role as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, but he's still a member. What do you make of that?
It makes you wonder how much information he should receive. With this new indictment, it says that the span of time that this is covering with Qatar was from 21 to 23. So at what point in time did he step down, and was he still trying to benefit them through illegal means? I think it's very interesting that as the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, he's now accused of taking bribes to benefit Qatar. And yet Qatar is the country that has been hosting and protecting the leadership in Hamas. This is extremely important information, critical safety, security information that he's been privy to. And yet he's been able to use it to benefit himself. I think that's the bottom line. That's the problem. So you have to ask yourself, beyond benefiting himself, has there been any security damage that's been done to this country? It's possible. It's something that we certainly don't know. I hope that the Justice Department is looking into this and they're able to make sure that whatever information was transferred and whatever information he provided them is not something that puts us in a vulnerable position in this country.
I do want to note he continues to deny any allegations of wrongdoing, and his lawyer reportedly said that he believes the new allegations, quote, stink of desperation. What do you make of A, the denial of wrongdoing, and B, that response?
Well, I think that it says it all. Obviously, he must be a desperate man to go to these measures. But, I just don't think it's unusual. I think he got so used to doing business like this that this is just how he does business. And other people accepted that too. And that's where I want to get back to, really, the enabling of this. I think that enablers are just as guilty, honestly. just as guilty and should not necessarily be running for this seat to continue the power and continue this corrupt behavior. That, to me, is what is most troubling about this whole thing. It's time that we make some changes, and it's time that the voters take a look at the candidates. Look at the candidates' background. Look at what the candidates have delivered. Take a look and see, what have they done to contribute in life? What have they done to contribute in our communities and in New Jersey? And when you see that, you're going to start to make different decisions. You're going to start to realize that when you are just voting party line, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a benefit back to your state. I've even had people question, what exactly has Bob Menendez done for this state? People can't even name anything. So I think it's time that people have to start looking at politics differently, and they have to start voting differently. And it's one thing to have an allegiance to your party. It's another thing to vote for somebody who's out and out just a crook.